In the history of unexplained phenomena, the night skies of the American West have long been a canvas for tales of mystery and awe. Among these, the sighting reported by James Lumley in 1865 stands as a particularly eerie and perplexing episode. This documentary delves into Lumley's chilling encounter, exploring the unsettling details and enduring questions that have haunted the imagination for over a century. The rugged expanse of Montana's wilderness was a harsh and untamed frontier in the mid-19th century. This land of towering peaks and dense forests was as beautiful as it was dangerous, where the line between the natural and the supernatural often blurred. It was here, amid the remote and formidable Rocky Mountains, that James Lumley, a seasoned prospector, experienced something that defied all earthly explanation. James Lumley was a man of practicality and grit, with years of prospecting behind him. In the fall of 1865, Lumley ventured deep into the Rockies, driven by the eternal lure of gold. Alone in this vast wilderness, he was accustomed to the solitude and the eerie silence that enveloped the mountains. However, on one fateful night, his solitary existence was shattered by an encounter that would forever change his life. As dusk fell, Lumley made camp near a ridge that overlooked a wide valley. The stars began to emerge, casting a faint glow over the rugged landscape. It was then that Lumley noticed a peculiar light streaking across the sky. At first, he thought it was a meteor, but the light grew brighter and moved with an unnatural precision. The object, glowing with an intense, otherworldly radiance, hurtled towards the earth, landing with a resounding crash not far from Lumley's camp. As dusk fell, Lumley made camp near a ridge that overlooked a wide valley. Driven by equal parts curiosity and dread, Lumley approached the site of the impact. What Lumley found was beyond his wildest imaginings. There, amid the smoldering wreckage, lay a strange, metallic object unlike anything he had ever seen. The object was cylindrical, with strange markings etched into its surface, glowing faintly in the darkness. Lumley, despite his fear, could not resist examining the mysterious artifact. As he drew closer, the air around the object seemed to hum with an eerie energy. Lumley noticed what appeared to be an opening, partially concealed by twisted metal. With great caution, he peered inside and was met with a sight that sent a shiver down his spine. Within the object were fragments of what looked like machinery and remnants of organic matter, as if the object had once been inhabited. Lumley spent the night in a state of restless vigil, unable to tear himself away from the sight. As dawn broke, he began to notice other strange phenomena. The wildlife in the area had vanished, and the plants near the object seemed withered and lifeless. It was as if the very presence of the object had altered the environment around it. With great effort, Lumley managed to remove a piece of the object, a shard of metal unlike any he had ever encountered. He knew he had to share his discovery, despite the fear of ridicule and disbelief. When he finally returned to civilization, Lumley recounted his experience to anyone who would listen. His story spread, and soon the remote valley was swarming with curious onlookers and investigators. The object and Lumley's fragment were subjected to intense scrutiny. Some speculated that it was an early attempt at flight, perhaps a secret military experiment. Others believed it was of extraterrestrial origin, a visitor from beyond the stars. The strange markings and the unidentifiable materials fueled these theories, but no definitive explanation was ever found. James Lumley's sighting remains one of the most enigmatic episodes in the history of unexplained phenomena. The fragment he recovered, now lost to history, served as a tantalizing clue, hinting at secrets that lie just beyond our understanding. The remote valley, once a silent witness to the event, still holds an air of mystery, as if guarding its secrets jealously. In the annals of American folklore, few tales are as spine-chilling and mysterious as the sighting of phantom lights, by James Everell and his companions. This eerie event took place in 1639, long before UFOs became part of popular culture, and it remains one of the most perplexing incidents in the history of unexplained phenomena. Our journey into this unsettling episode will illuminate the fear and bewilderment that gripped those who witnessed the inexplicable. The year was 1639, and the Massachusetts Bay Colony was a fledgling settlement surrounded by the vast, uncharted wilderness. The Charles River, winding its way through the heart of the colony, was both a source of life and an enigmatic frontier. The river's calm waters often mirrored the deep, star-filled sky, creating an ethereal landscape that could easily mask the boundary between reality and the supernatural. James Everell, a sober and reputable man of the colony, was an unlikely candidate for tales of the supernatural. On a serene autumn evening, Everell, along with two other men whose names have been lost to history, embarked on a routine journey by boat along the Charles River. Little did they know, this ordinary trip would soon plunge them into an extraordinary and terrifying encounter. As the trio navigated the tranquil waters, their conversation was abruptly interrupted by an otherworldly glow that pierced the night. A bright light appeared in the sky, hovering silently above the river. The men watched in stunned silence as the luminous object, described as being in the shape of a pig, moved with uncanny speed and agility. The light darted back and forth, rising and falling as if performing a macabre dance in the sky. The object then descended closer to the river, illuminating the surrounding area with an eerie, unnatural light. The men's boat, as if possessed by some invisible force, began to move against the current. Panic set in as they struggled to regain control, but their efforts were in vain. The spectral light seemed to have a will of its own, leading them on a frightening journey. For several hours, Everell and his companions remained in the grip of this supernatural force. They watched in horror as the light continued its erratic movements, casting long, haunting shadows across the water. Finally, as dawn approached, the light vanished as suddenly as it had appeared. The boat, now freed from its strange captivity, drifted back to its original position. When the men returned to the settlement, they recounted their harrowing experience to the astonished colonists. The tale of the phantom lights quickly spread, becoming a topic of whispered conversations and fearful speculation. Skeptics dismissed it as a shared hallucination or a misinterpretation of natural phenomena. But for Everell and his companions, the memory of that night remained a haunting reality. Over the centuries, countless theories have been proposed to explain the phenomenon witnessed by James Everell and his companions. Some suggest it was an early account of ball lightning, a rare and poorly understood atmospheric event. Others believe it could have been an optical illusion caused by swamp gas, which can produce eerie lights when it ignites. However, these scientific explanations do little to dispel the eerie aura surrounding the incident. The precise description of the light's movements and its apparent interaction with the boat remain enigmatic. For many, the encounter is seen as an early example of what we now refer to as a UFO sighting, long before the term and its modern connotations existed. James Everell's sighting has endured as a chilling chapter in the history of unexplained phenomena. It serves as a reminder that the unknown can manifest in the most unexpected places, challenging our understanding of the world. The Charles River, with its serene beauty, will forever be associated with the spectral lights that once danced upon its waters. As we reflect on this eerie encounter, we are left with more questions than answers. The tale of James Everell and the phantom lights of the Charles River continues to captivate and unsettle, a timeless story that blurs the line between the known and the unknown, the real and the unreal. The sleepy town of Hopkinsville, Kentucky, was thrust into the limelight on a sultry summer night in 1955. What began as a tranquil evening turned into a night of terror and mystery that would be remembered for generations. This eerie documentary delves into the harrowing encounter of Billy Ray Taylor and the bizarre creatures that haunted the Sutton farmhouse, a tale that blurs the line between reality and the supernatural. Hopkinsville, located in the rural heart of Kentucky, was a quiet and unassuming town where life moved at a leisurely pace. The region was known for its lush fields and dense woods, a place where the community was tight-knit and the nights were serene. However, on August 21st, 1955, the tranquility of the town was shattered by an otherworldly event. Billy Ray Taylor, a young and hardworking man from Pennsylvania, was visiting the Sutton family, his friends and fellow farmhands, at their farmhouse on the outskirts of Hopkinsville. The Suttons were a large family, and their home was a bustling hub of activity. That fateful night, Billy Ray Taylor and the Sutton family were unwittingly about to become the central figures in one of America's most famous close encounters. As evening fell, Billy Ray Taylor went outside to fetch water from the well. The humid air was thick with the sounds of the countryside. Suddenly, a bright, otherworldly light streaked across the sky, capturing Taylor's attention. He watched in awe as the luminous object descended into a nearby field. Startled but curious, Taylor rushed back to the farmhouse, breathlessly recounting what he had witnessed. The Sutton family, intrigued and slightly skeptical, accompanied Taylor outside to investigate. As they approached the field, an eerie silence enveloped the group. Then, from the shadows, strange, small figures emerged. The creatures were described as having oversized heads, large, glowing eyes, and long, thin arms. Their bodies shimmered with a metallic sheen, and they moved with an unsettling, almost mechanical grace. Panic set in as the creatures advanced towards the farmhouse. Taylor and the Suttons retreated, barricading themselves inside. The creatures began to circle the house, peering through windows and scratching at the doors. The family, gripped by fear, armed themselves with rifles and shotguns. For hours, they fired at the intruders, but the bullets seemed to have no effect. The creatures would fall and then float back to their feet, undeterred. The ordeal continued through the night. The creatures displayed an almost playful malevolence, darting in and out of sight, tormenting the trapped family. The atmosphere inside the farmhouse was one of sheer terror as the family huddled together, desperately trying to fend off the otherworldly being. As dawn approached, the creatures finally retreated, disappearing into the pre-dawn mist. The Sutton family, exhausted and traumatized, ventured outside to survey the damage. The ground was littered with spent shell casings, and the air was thick with the smell of gunpowder. But there was no trace of the creatures. Desperate for answers and reassurance, the family went to the Hopkinsville police station. Their account was met with skepticism, but the palpable fear in their eyes convinced the authorities to investigate. The police, along with curious natives, descended upon the farmhouse, but found no evidence of the bizarre visitors. Over the years, the Hopkinsville encounter has sparked numerous theories and debates. Skeptics suggest that the creatures were simply owls, misidentified in the heat of the moment. Others propose that the family experienced a collective hallucination or were victims of a hoax. However, those who were present that night remain adamant about what they saw. For many, the encounter is viewed as a genuine close encounter of the third kind. The detailed descriptions provided by Taylor and the Sutton family align with other accounts of extraterrestrial beings reported around the world. The enduring mystery of the Hopkinsville Goblins continues to captivate researchers and enthusiasts of the unexplained. The nightmarish encounter of Billy Ray Taylor and the Sutton family has left an indelible mark on the annals of UFO lore. The story has been retold in countless books, documentaries, and articles, each adding to the legend. The Hopkinsville Goblins serve as a chilling reminder that our understanding of the universe is still limited, and that the unknown can manifest in the most unexpected places. As the sun sets over the fields of Hopkinsville, one can't help but feel a shiver of unease. The events of that summer night in 1955 continue to haunt the town, a spectral presence that lingers in the shadows. And as darkness falls, we are left to wonder what truly happened on that fateful night, and could it happen again?